What is going on, guys? This is Justin with Go Crazy Card Collecting. I've been thinking about some things. Recently, I've been able to pick up a few really big cards for my collection. And it's really got me thinking, like, everybody always says, and I don't disagree with any of this, so I'm not taking shots at anybody or anything like that, but everybody always says, buy the card, not the grade. And I don't even know really what that means. Of course, we're buying cards. And for me, though, like, the grade matters. The grade matters because I want graded cards with my bigger cards. But I have a very limited budget. And so when I'm thinking of the grade, like the lower the grade I can get and I still love the card, the better. So for me, I'm buying the card and the grade. The grade for that card has to be low, but the eye appeal still has to be something that I'll be happy with. And sometimes that can get kind of tricky. And so I've thought of four kind of things that collectors can look at when talking about buying low grade vintage. The first thing that we need to do is we need to define low grade. What does that even mean? When you're talking about SGC or PSA, I would say in that kind of 1 to 3 range. When I'm talking about bigger cards, I I have to get closer to that 1 range. I don't have a whole lot of wiggle room when it comes to that. And I'll show you a few cards here in a minute. Many of you who watch my videos have seen these cards. And so I for sure have to go closer to that 1 range. And finding the card with the eye appeal that you want in a 1 range is tricky. You're talking about 60, 70-year-old cards. And so kids played with these cards. People played with these cards. They got shoved in boxes. They weren't even important until 80s into the 90s. And so we're talking about cards that were played with. And I have to get in that 1 range. And I'll share you kind of the story of how I got a certain card here in a minute. So number one, I made a few notes here, so I might refer to those just a little bit. And so number one is it's in that 1 to 3 range, and you're talking about you want eye appeal, thinking about that kind of arm's length test. You kind of get it out here and you think about, man, that's beautiful. Now, when you get it real close, it may look kind of, but if you're displaying it or you're looking at it and you kind of look that kind of arm's length and you can't see anything wrong with it, that's a pretty good indicator that you're gonna love looking at that card. So think about that. Some other things that I kind of get down is the image still sharp? Is the centering at least decent? Some of the guys, Dylan at Double D Vintage, he's a big centering guy, and that's totally fine, you know. And the more and more I develop and grow, the more and more I want a centered card. A centered card that's a little beat up, that's got some flaws, that's got some things, just they look really good next to each other. And I'll show you a couple here in a minute, and I'll put them next to each other, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Um, and then you've got that distance test. So second, the type of damage on the card matters. Okay, so number one, your low grade is in that 1 to 3. For me, it's closer to that 1 when we're talking about a bigger card. Number two is the type of damage matters, and I'll show you this card. I got this in a 1 because, you know, my budget was really low and I saved up just for a little bit with it. When I say my budget's low, like I give myself $25 a month for cards. It's a low budget, and sometimes I have to save up, and sometimes I'm able to get a few extra here and there for birthday money and Father's Day. My family does that for me. They give me stuff to buy cards with. And so Christmas and things like that. And that's how I was able to get this most recent one. But I got this for under $100. It's a beautiful image, but you're talking paper loss. So kind of damage matters. I'm not a huge paper loss guy. I don't like paper loss. For me, the paper loss on this one didn't really take away from the image. The back is beautiful. Okay, you've got that pinhole right there. The pinhole's up there. It's a little off-centered. None of that, to me, took away from the image. A 1 in this card in any other slab that I've seen has been damaged and, I mean, just rough. And so this one, to me, looks good. So type of damage matters. Not all flaws are created equal. And so when you're talking about creases, I've heard Mike, baseball collector, talk about how a crease doesn't bother him, but if it's a crease right across the face, that's a whole different element, right? A crease down kind of in the bottom corner, it's still going to lower the grade, but it's not as big of a deal. So think about those things. Think about what low grade is to you. Think about what type of damage is causing that low grade, and can you live with it? Because when I was searching for some certain cards, I saw higher grades, and they were a lot more money, and I just didn't feel comfortable with that. And then I found these cards, and I just knew that I could look at these cards at all time and know that what I spent for them, it just made me rest easy. And so think about those. Um, Cornerware, like I could totally do cornerware. That doesn't bother me at all. They could have rounded, not crazy rounded corners, but they could have rounded corners and not look the greatest. I've got some cards to show you, some pickups that I had that kind of in the lower grade that have kind of rounded corners. Okay, that's a 62 Tim McCarver rookie. He's kind of a legend when it comes to talking about the Cardinals, but those corners are rounded up to get that 3. The picture's beautiful. The back is beautiful. Kind of gave it that 3. Another one that I had, a Mort Cooper, 41 play ball Mort Cooper. I just picked this one up recently. But look at those corners, okay? That's what gives it the 3. The picture's great. The centering's off just a little bit. But I can live with that. I can live with that. Great image, great card. Think about rounded corners. Rounded corners, to me, doesn't take a whole lot away from the image. And then here's a 3 in this Steve Carlton rookie that I got. Now, it's a little off-center too, but those corners are rounded. So when you're talking about the damage of the card and what makes it low grade, it's not all about like rounded corners doesn't bother me. Paper loss bothers me. Not that paper loss. I don't like writing kind of on the front. If writing's on the back a little bit, that doesn't bother me a whole lot either. So that's number 2. Number 3 that I have is that the player that you're buying matters a whole lot when it comes to low grade vintage. Like, yes, I bought this Tim McCarver. That's a cheap card. I bought that for $25 in a 3. Player does matter. This was not a player that I had to go to a 1. But for me, this was. Like, and you guys know that I bought this. If you've seen my channel and you've watched my videos, this was my goal card for years, and I finally got it. And that the player here and the fact that it's a high number in the 59 set matters. And so this card's going to be so much more expensive. So I had to go to that 1 range to feel comfortable buying it. And for my budget, having to save up and all those things, that matters a whole lot. If you're talking low grade Mickey Mantles, Hank Aaron's, Willie Mays, even Stan Musial, which with my Stan rookie's a 1.5. Just a beautiful image, nicely centered. They're collectible. No matter what grade they're in, they're collectible. There's going to be a buyer for these cards. If I ever wanted to sell, they're collectible cards. I don't want to sell, but if I ever did, they're there for me to do that for. And the 4th thing is that you always want to look for is authenticity. Man, I've seen so many. I don't know if I've ever held a fake, but there are so many things when you're talking about buying bigger cards. And the reason I'm doing that is because you go to the lower grades when you do that. You want to make sure that those things are authentic. And that's why at least I have a second opinion in what I'm buying in terms of SGC. And so I feel comfortable with that. I like the lower grade stuff. I just do. Like this right here. Now, first of all, this is the only one graded. But it's a 1.5. This is the only one slabbed by SGC. It's a 1.5. And to me, it's just beautiful. There are a couple creases up here. You can kind of see them going down. That doesn't bother me. This is a beautiful image. There's staining on the back. Staining is another thing to think about. I think that for me, who has such a limited budget and had to sell some cards that they bought over the years, and I'm totally fine with that too, by the way. If you want to sell your whole collection to buy 1 card, that's on you. You do what you do you. Like if you want 10 cards, that's fine. If you want to look at 1,000 cards, that's fine. Who cares? Whatever makes you feel like a kid again and whatever makes you happy. But these 2 cards, I would never, ever feel comfortable or be able to afford them in a higher grade than these. And I can't believe I found cards that look like this in this grade. Look at the centering on both of them. They look so good next to each other. The centering's good. This one's obviously got some staining and dirt on the front. This one's got kind of a little bit of discoloration and a hole, staple hole in the top and a hole right there. Billy Ballgame and I were talking about kind of what, if you had a staple hole in it like that, like what happened to this card? Did they staple it immediately to the wall and it just stayed there? Like, that's beautiful. The back is beautiful. So guys, I'm not a buy the card, not the grade type of guy. I look for the low grades. Like, I'm all about buying the low grades. Man, Genie one time said held a card up, and it had an A on it. And he said, you know what that A stands for to me? Awesome. It stands for affordable to me. I don't have any cards with an A on it, but I would totally buy one. This isn't like, I wasn't trying to kind of go off on a tangent, but I just love the idea of I get so excited about, and the ones to me look great. Like, it means something to me when someone says that's the best looking one I've ever seen. That means something to me. I love that. I'm like, I can't believe I found it. And that was under $500 for a Gibby rookie that looks that good. This one I bought for $300 in some trades. Like, holy cow. And they look so beautiful next to each other. Guys, consider these 4 things. Consider, what does low grade, what does it actually mean? What type of damage? Think about the type of damage that you want. Think about the player. Like, if that's how you can afford a card, do it. Don't let anybody tell you different. I have friends who like the high grade stuff, and that's great. Let them go for the high grades. I'm all about it. That's what makes them happy. Please buy those. I want you to enjoy your collection. But for me, I just can't do it. And so I have to go to the low stuff. And then I get mine graded because I like to make sure that there's at least a second party that's told me it's authentic and that it's real. Because even with these cards over here, like, I don't want to get duped for my most important card I've ever bought for myself. And so, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for looking at the same cards you've looked at that I've shared over and over and over again. I love the idea of buying the low stuff. For me, I'm buying the card and the grade. So have a good one. Stay blessed. I love you guys.